Hi guys, welcome to day 4 of 31 Days of Chasing Your Dreams Poetry by Latisha B. That's me. I'm really happy that you joined me today, and I hope you had the opportunity to watch my last 3 videos. As I had mentioned in first 2, this is something that I've never done before, and it is not something that I'm fully comfortable with. Speaking in front of the camera is not something that I have ever really had much experience in, and I'm also a very introverted person, so I like to keep all my good thoughts in there. But I felt like God put it on my heart to step out of my comfort zone in so many ways in this season, but to step out of my comfort zone in doing this because there were so much good thoughts in there that I wanted to share them with anybody who is open to listening and open to following and watching my videos, because I know there's a lot of options and a lot of wonderful videos to watch, a lot of people that have a lot of wonderful things to say, a lot of talented people. So to be someone that you would be interested in listening to, that I know that's an honor. And if you're watching me and you will be following along on this path and you will be following along on these 31 days, I really appreciate you, and I'm very thankful because I know that, you got a lot of choices. So thank you very much for hearing me out today. The poem, first, before I go into my poem, let me just introduce myself. My name is Latisha, and as I've said in many of my videos, I am 36 years old. I have been married 13 years. I'm a homeschool mom. I have 5 kids, and today is especially a very special day for me as a mom because one of my children are celebrating their birthdays today. One of my kids is going to be 4, is turning 4 today, or is 4, and I'm thankful for that. So without further ado, let me share my poem with you, and then I will share my thoughts on what that poem is about. So the name of the poem that I'm sharing with you today is called I've Decided. I've decided to leave it all behind. I've decided I'm letting go this time. I've decided I'm not taking old baggage with me. I've decided from stress and worry I'll flee. Life's too short to waste a moment of it. That's why I'm not gonna blow it. I've decided I want a life covered in love. I want to bask in the goodness from above. I want a life filled with true joy, so a happiness mission I'll employ. I'm getting rid of all the gunk, no more focusing on stressful junk. I'm gonna look up at the clouds, listen to the birds sing aloud. I'm gonna watch the squirrels in the trees, the flowers and the bees. I'm getting on my knees and pray, thanking God for every new day. So I hope you enjoyed that. I know it's a very short one, but so I'll give you a backstory of when I wrote that. When I had written that poem, I had just came out of the most difficult season of my life. In 2011, I went through a very rough pregnancy, and it didn't end well. I had a C-section at 36 weeks, and I lost my son at 5 days old, and he was beautiful. He was angelic looking. He was my 3rd child, and that's a story I probably will share at some point in the future. But after I came out of that season, and that's a testimony all by itself. But after I came out of that season, I had basically life as I had known it was different. Everything had changed. Even who I was had changed, because before that, I struggled with anxiety, like severe anxiety. I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of doing anything. I struggled with paralyzing fear, and I dealt with anxiety even in the simplest things. Even in just being at home washing the dishes or doing my chores. I just always was constantly tormented and tortured by negative thoughts, and my heart racing all the time, and always feeling in this stressful state. And I feel like going through the experience that I went through with my son, and that loss, even as hard as it was and as painful as it was, I feel like it blessed me, because it caused me to realize that I just experienced my biggest fear. I just went through the hardest thing that I've ever been through in my life, and something that I honestly thought about. Losing somebody I love was one of my biggest fears, and it's even tougher when it's someone that you carried. You know, it's your child. So God caused me to realize that, you know, after experiencing the most difficult thing that a woman, a mother, a person could experience in their life, which is losing their child, someone that they carried almost a full term, and they loved so much, even though they hadn't met them yet. And then I did have the opportunity to meet him and spend 5 days with him, and to have to say goodbye, that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And after experiencing that, God showed me that I am much stronger than I thought I was. He showed me that I can overcome anything. He showed me that I do not have to become a victim of fear. I don't have to become a slave to fear. I don't have to be a slave to fear. And I think it was from that experience that I started to see life differently. And I started to renew my mind, and I started to make decisions that I was going to let go of the past. I was going to let go of the stress and the worry. I was going to let go of all those things that hold me down and hold me prisoner, and the baggage that you carry. And just bask in the goodness of God's love. Bask in the goodness of life. Bask in the beauty of what God created for us. So that's a whole lot of story all by itself. You know, there's things that you have to do to really start working on coming out of anxiety and coming out of that state of mind. You know, it is about renewing your mind. It's about renewing what you give your attention to. And, you know, to talk about all of that in this video wouldn't cause this video to go to be too long. But it was a decision. I had to decide that enough is enough. I had to decide that I wanted more than this, and I wanted a life that was way better than the one I was living. I wanted to be free. I was a prisoner for many, many years of my life, and I made a decision. I decided that was enough. That was enough. Enough is enough. And from that day on, you know, I continued to work at it. I continued to put steps in place to come out of that. And I want to share more about that story with you. And I probably will get to share it over time. But, you know, where I am now compared to where I used to be, I'm so thankful to God. Because if you had told me in 2010 that this is where I would be in 2018, I would not have believed you. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Feel free to subscribe, feel free to share. And it's a growing process for me, so over the 31 days you're going to see me transition and get more comfortable doing this. But, you know, if you follow along on this journey, I am very honored. And thank you. See you tomorrow.